All right, I gotta talk about this, man. You know this about me, or at least you should. I call things right down the middle. I don't have a bias. I like what I like and I dislike what I dislike. But WWE is being so petty and so predatory towards AEW now. Look, I just want to say this. I'm going to get into what I mean, but I understand that there's a wrestling war. I understand that the owners of these companies, or at least the executives, they don't like each other. They're obviously trying to get as much market share as possible. It's not quite how things were in the 90s, but I think they're trying to make it that way. But dude, this is getting ridiculous. So WWE, this year already, I think 2, maybe 3 times have had an NXT show compete head to head with AEW, with an AEW pay-per-view. Now, look, I've covered like AEW and AEW Dynamite and NXT, like when they went head to head on Tuesday, on that one special Tuesday night. I did a whole video about it. It was a fun time. And so, like, when they do this once in a while, like, it's fun. It really is fun to have them put, a TV show on at the same time that the opposing force has a TV show on. And it does feel a little bit like how wrestling was in the 90s. Not quite the same, but it feels that way. Well, now things are getting ridiculous. They added a new PLE for September, which is going to go head to head with AEW All Out, and that's where they're going to do the Brock Lesnar John Cena match. So, previously I think we all assumed it would be in Perth, or maybe even Survivor Series, or maybe even in December, but no, they're going to get that match out of the way in that, on the same day as All Out. Now, here's the thing. From what I understand, not only is this pay-per-view on the same day, but it's on at the same time. Look, All In, Tony Khan moved All In from like 7 p.m. down to an afternoon time in order to not compete head-to-head with Saturday night's main event. That was WWE, by the way, that scheduled that date. At least we believe that. It might have been NBC. But Tony Khan was, he moved it because he probably realized, okay, this is my biggest show of the year. If we put it on a few hours early, I'm going to get the views, I'm going to get the orders, and then that way fans can see both. And ultimately, look, I've been very critical of Tony Khan, but this dude has been a saint lately compared to how he used to be. I haven't seen that many Twitter meltdowns from Tony. I haven't seen him like attack WWE. He's just been doing his product, focusing on it, and that's what everybody wanted. His rants on social media where he's screaming like a kid and calling Triple H and Shawn bald assholes, like, it just made him look bad. And he hasn't done that. He's actually taken the high road, and I like that. I'm glad that he was able to learn from his mistakes, right? So he hasn't really taken shots. Somebody recently on a press conference asked Tony Khan about WWE shifting dates around because they booked the Heatwave NXT show to be on at the same time as Forbidden Door. And Tony Khan just said it was like Jim Crockett Promotions. Now, what he's talking about, in case you don't know, is that back in 1987, just to hurt Jim Crockett Promotions, WWF added a new pay-per-view, Survivor Series, on the same night as Starrcade, which is their biggest show of the year. But that's not all. It wasn't just that they added the pay-per-view, making fans like have to pick. So Starrcade volunteered to move, like what Tony Khan did, to move the show to an afternoon. So the idea is the wrestling fans that want to watch both shows can watch Starrcade in the afternoon, Survivor Series in the evening. And that to me shows that they not only care about getting the money from the fans, but they actually care about those fans that watch both products. And I'm one of the ones that now currently watches AEW and WWE, or at least I watch Dynamite. You know, I don't watch Collision, but I do watch Dynamite. And so that happened, right? And then, but it got even worse. Vince McMahon called the pay-per-view companies and threatened them and said if they don't carry Survivor Series and take Starrcade off, in other words, if they air Starrcade, he's not going to give them WrestleMania. And this is months after WrestleMania 3 broke records in Michigan. And this is not the last time this happened. The pay-per-view companies basically said, do not do this ever again. And then what happened was, in January, there was a Bunkhouse Stampede pay-per-view. WWF books the Royal Rumble special to compete with that. So this is nothing new from WWE. Vince McMahon did this a lot back in the day. And then, of course, there's WrestleMania going head-to-head with Clash of the Champions. Like, you know, these things have happened before, but not for some time. During the Monday Night War, yes, Nitro and Raw were on at the same time, and for a time, Thunder and SmackDown were, but pay-per-views were not. And that was good. Now that we're in the PLE era, where it's not really pay-per-view driven, it's just app driven or streaming service driven, those rules are out the window. And now you've got them booking Lesnar versus Cena, not even an NXT show, an actual WWE main roster pay-per-view on the same day as AEW's All Out. But it gets better, because this ain't the last time that they're doing this. So originally, John Cena's final match in professional wrestling was going to be at the Saturday night's main event in Boston in December, which I think was the second week of December. That was going to be Cena's farewell, right? His actual final match. They've decided to add a pay-per-view. Now, I had a feeling they were going to do this, because having Cena's last match be on a TV special, like Goldberg did it, but Cena's meant so much more to WWE's business than Goldberg has, and he's doing a huge tour, that I figured, okay, why don't they put that on pay-per-view? Well, they are putting it on pay-per-view. They're adding another pay-per-view at the end of the year, featuring John Cena's final match, presumably also from Boston. I think they said it was going to be from Boston also. And Cena's from West Newbury, which is a suburb of Boston, so it's like a hometown thing. Well, guess what? This show is happening the same night as AEW World's End. So this is now a pattern of WWE trying to hurt AEW. Now, I want to reiterate what I said earlier in the video. I understand this. I lived through the Monday Night War. I lived through the NXT AEW battles, and even the second Monday Night War with Impact and Raw, which was more of a slaughtering than a war. And wrestling fans want to feel what they felt in the 90s, either the ones that lived through it or the ones that didn't live through it and want to experience it. But this is not it, man, because what WWE is doing is they're pissing off a lot of fans. Because yes, there's going to be people that just watch WWE that don't care about AEW and you know, their show. You're going to have your AEW loyal fans who are going to watch that show and then maybe later on watch WWE after like the AEW show ends, maybe the next day. You know, it happens. But no, you're competing head to head, PLE, PPV, trying to hurt AEW, and all you're really doing is hurting the fans, because there are fans that watch both. There are fans that want to see both. There's even some fans that want to attend both shows. And now, because of this, unfortunately, folks, we don't have that Dragon Ball Z multi-clone ability where we can create clones of ourselves and be in two places at once. If you want to attend World's End, you're going to have to not see the Cena retirement and vice versa. All this does is piss off the fans and bother them. And this is during a time where WWE is obviously price gouging the fans. Their ticket prices are insane. They have pissed off the fans due to their political alignment. The less said about that, the better, but you know what I'm talking about. People are pretty pissed off at Triple H over that. They brought back Brock Lesnar, which also pissed off a lot of fans. I did a video about that, kind of giving my nuanced opinions on it. And a lot of the booking has not been great this year. So WWE really has, not been the fan favorite company. They really haven't, dude. And they should try to be. Whenever they come out and they talk about how much they love the fans and how important they are to the bottom line, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. It's all bullshit. They just want your money. They just want your money, dude. And hopefully most people see through that and they see that that's BS. But it's dude, doing this, making the fans choose for pay-per-views and big shows. See, it's not the same for TV. TV is different. But pay-per-views and big shows, I think, should be on separate nights so people can experience something possibly historic. And in the case of John Cena's retirement, not possibly historic, definitely historic. And not have to worry about anything else happening that night. Because don't forget, there's also other sporting events going on. There's other things going on in the world that people like to do. And wrestling fans, a lot of them don't watch anything else, but a lot of them do have a lot of shows they watch, whether it be live sports or other things. And this is late December, so the college football bowl games are probably going to be on that night. It's a Saturday, I believe. So it's predatory. It's annoying. It makes us have to choose. It makes us annoyed that we might be missing something big or something important happening on the other pay-per-view. And it's just, I know you want to hurt AEW. You're already number one. WWE is already making a ton of money. You're squeezing everything out of your fans. You're selling out bigger arenas than AEW. You're clearly ahead. There's no point in hurting them like this. No point at all. None. And now there's rumors that they're trying to shut down AEW's TV deals and have them be replaced by TNA. And it's just, this is getting out of hand. Originally, for a while, not originally, but for a while, it felt like AEW was swinging at WWE, and, they were mentioning WWE, and WWE was ignoring them. And it just felt like AEW needed to chill out. Now WWE is doing something similar, but much worse. And it's so petty and pedantic. This disgusts me. And like I said, there's a lot of people right now that are disgusted with WWE's promotional tactics. At this point, this is just, I don't like it, bro. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below.